What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got a crazy story for you from over 10 years ago. How would you feel if the man you are about to marry suddenly leaves you for the one that got away back in high school? That sadly is exactly what happens to this woman. But when he comes crawling back just a few weeks later, she is unsure what to do. So without further ado, sit back, relax, get ready to give your opinions in the comments down below. This is a controversial one. Let's get into it. My fiancé left me for the one that got away, but now wants me back. This was originally posted back in November 2015. My fiancé and I had been together 3 years. I am a 24-year-old woman and he is a 27-year-old man. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, cried, worried, and were happy together. Our families had mixed really well. Our mums became close friends really fast. He was my best friend, my confidant, my support, my comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. God, I'm even crying remembering one time we took a blanket, went outside, and looked up at the stars like in some book. I never thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could have never done anything like that to me. It all started about 2 months ago. His ex, his high school sweetheart, they were together 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark. He told me they broke up because they were unable to sustain a long-distance relationship when she left to pursue postgraduate studies. They hadn't been in contact for about 5 years. She sent him an email. He showed it to me, and it was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he'd become. He asked me if he could meet her, and I said yes. I trusted him. So, he went. But when he came back, he was a bit withdrawn. He's usually really chatty, but he was dismissive when I asked him how it went, etc. I let it go. However, the following weeks, he was often on his phone. He picked random fights with me and didn't look me in the eyes when we had sex. He didn't whisper loving words either. I'm really touchy and clingy, and in our 3 years together, he'd never once recoiled or refused my embrace, but he started doing it. I usually hug him like a koala when he comes back home from work. I'm a bit childish, I know, but he only let me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good nowadays. On a Saturday, I went to visit his grandma, as we usually knit together. She taught me, and I was gone the whole day. I feel really close to her because she adopted me easily and reminds me of my own, who died when I was in high school. When I came back, I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, but sometimes life gives you a second chance and you have to recognize it for what it is. That he loved me, but when he met his ex, he realized the feelings weren't the same. He said he regretted letting go of her, that he'd found himself again, that it had been a difficult choice for him, but he had to take this chance. His ex wanted him back. She had realized what she'd lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He supposedly refused her at first, but as time passed and they talked together, his old feelings came back. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. I cried as he was talking. It sounds stupid, but it was as if it was a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I can find another place. He makes a lot more than me, and I wouldn't be able to afford living in our apartment on my own. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idealized memory of their past together, that he was having cold feet. But he was like a wall, he didn't even look at me. At about 10 PM, there was a truck outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He apparently came to help him move. I wasn't really close with that particular friend, but he did seem sorry for me. Mark hugged me goodbye and left. I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room, not to feel the emptiness of our room with his things gone. I sunk to the deepest pathetic and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. I had no idea where he went, but I assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous. I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home with them, but I wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy and I'm a manic, so it felt weird having everything perfectly neat. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalogue. Not waking up to make breakfast, not seeing him read lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favourite snack or powder proteins when doing groceries felt weird. I felt really lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually when people break up, their relationship was going south, but to me it came out of nowhere. I still loved him. I was still planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. I wish I'd been smarter and refused that he meet his one that got away. His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma, and she told me that he was a fool, that he'd come back crawling to me. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh. His mum, my mum, and I started making calls to cancel all reservations. Luckily, the store accepted to take back the dress. We didn't pay much for the location as we cancelled early. Next was to inform the guests. He'd been gone for about 3 weeks then. His family was furious with him, so they didn't contact him much. The only contact I had with him was the signed check he made to cover the wedding cancellation. However, about a week ago, I received a letter from him. He apologised for leaving me like this, said he made the biggest mistake of his life, that he couldn't even believe what he had done, that he was writing me this letter because he didn't have the courage to face me. You were right, it reads. I was running after a perfect relationship that had never existed. I regret it so much. I thought I was in love with her, but in reality I was in love with what she represented, my younger self with no responsibility and only dreams. I had cold feet and got afraid of moving forward into this new segment of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about you when I was with her. She is not you. She doesn't know me or love me like you. She doesn't smell like you. I missed hearing you sing randomly throughout the day. I missed having someone nagging me to pick up my stuff. I missed planning Halloween parties for the kids with you. At the time I'm writing this letter, we would have probably been decoration shopping had I not been a fool. Everyone told me, but I was being a blind fool. I would do anything to go back in the past and slap some sense into myself. I would do anything for you to forgive me. I know we've already started cancelling everything, but I'm ready to pay for everything myself. You can date someone else to even scores if you want, as long as you come back to me. How about that for a final line? Wow. I would write out the whole letter, OP continues now, but I'm on my iPad and it's tiring. I just said the important parts. He kept on with the apologies and begging me to forgive him. Now, I told my family, left my friends out for the moment, and his mum and grandma what he'd said. His grandma had a very satisfying told you so moment. However, she is rooting for me to forgive him. His mum was supposed to send a formal letter to guests to tell them the wedding was off, but now she's waiting for my answer. I don't know what to do. I love him with all my heart, but what he did to me, I don't know if I can get over it. He made me feel worthless. He threw me away as if I was no one to him after 3 years. He gave up on us for some ghosts from his past when we were at our happiest. If he can leave me when we're doing good, how will we sustain a marriage? Will he leave the moment things get hard? He hurt me so badly and expects me to forgive him. He wants us to meet on Sunday, but I'm not sure I'm willing to. I need some perspective. What would you do in my situation? Wow. Okay, let's jump straight into the comments before we get to the first of 2 updates on this story. Somebody asked, just a thought, how do you know that the old girlfriend didn't call it off, sending him back to pick up the pieces? Definitely don't be second choice. The right people don't need second chances. You deserve much more. OP replied, it's true, I still have no idea where he is currently or if he still lives with her, but honestly, I don't think I should even care to clarify. You guys have let it down really well for me, and I can even see things I hadn't considered with what he did. I want to just answer, please do not contact me again and be done. However, I don't know if that's proper. Someone else said, do not take him back. Tell him, sorry, life isn't giving you a second chance at this. Then find someone who will never, ever crush you like that. OP replied, I know this is the smartest thing to do, but I'm having a hard time doing it. I'm even trying to rationalize his actions, but I guess it would be best to just separate for good. Someone else then replied to this saying, do you want to spend a lifetime with a man who's always thinking the grass is greener in other pastures? Temporary pain is better than a lifetime of worry. And OP replied to this saying, I know deep inside that going back to him would be stupid. A part of me still loves him, and I got used to having his family in my life. But I need to move on for my own good. I definitely can find someone who wouldn't do this to me. I should be glad this happened before the wedding, but it was so unlike him that it's making me doubt. I need to reconcile the image I have of him with what his actions have showed me he is. I think OP has summed it up pretty well there at the end. This is not someone that you want to be with, and I agree with that comment, right? If someone's going to leave you like this, at the drop of a hat, seemingly everything is going really well, you're about to get married and then they're gone, yeah, you're going to have that on your conscience for the rest of your life if you are with that person. And on top of that, yeah, I do further agree. Like, things are going well right now. What about if things are going badly? Surely they are more likely to leave in that scenario, right? Like, I get it. It's probably extremely tough because the man you love, yeah, he's effed up very, very badly. But then he's saying to you, I'm sorry, I made such a mistake. Please take me back. And you still love him, of course. So it's hard to just be like, no, I'm moving on. But you have to do that. You really do. For your own sake. Okay, now let's get into the update. This came 6 days later. I didn't plan on updating, or at least not so soon, but I have another problem. I'm really thankful to everyone who answered and comforted me. You guys gave me the strength to look forward and not make a decision based on nostalgia. I felt really alone in my pain, but thanks to you, I felt a little less lonely. So, Mark wanted to meet on Sunday, but I unblocked him from my phone and told him I didn't want to meet and to please not contact me anymore. He answered, "Please, baby, I need to talk to you. Can we meet another day? I know I effed up really bad and hurt you deeply, but I'll do anything to make it up to you. Anything you ask, I'll do it." Needless to say, it just angered me more. How dare he use terms of endearment with me? I just blocked him again after that. I met his mum on Saturday and told her to proceed with the notification of cancellation. We had an emotional moment, and she told me, even though she would have really wanted us to stay one big family, she would have done the same in my place. That's a good woman right there. Despite the fact that her son is her son, she still realizes that he is massively effed up and, yeah, doesn't deserve to be with OP, which is a great thing to accept and to actually say to OP, I think. So yeah, fair play to Mark's mum. She had hoped I would find the strength to forgive him, but she understands. And so the wedding is indeed still being cancelled. I mean, that is actually very refreshing. The amount of parents who do not care what their children have done, and sometimes it's absolutely disgusting what they've done, and they still back them just because they are their parents, is sometimes quite worrying. This is, as I said, refreshing. My poor brother, I told him personally, had already bought his plane tickets from Australia, but he did get a refund. I rearranged all the furniture in the house and bought new bedding sets to make a new start, and I moved to the spare room for good. It looks really different, and I like it. Apparently, he told our friends, because some brought it up to me, asking if we're getting back together, but they said they didn't want to side. On Sunday evening, I had a visitor. I never have people coming this late usually. It was around 9 p.m. When I went to look through the peephole, I saw Mark with his ex. What? I seriously had a moment of panic. He must still have the key for the main entry since he managed to get to my door without using the intercom. I don't know if it was a cowardly thing to do, but I just chose not to open. No, that's the right thing to do. I know they knew I was there, and I heard him ask me to please let him in, that he just wanted to talk through the door. Honestly, even though I feel better, I don't think I'm emotionally stable enough to deal with him, and especially him with his ex. They stayed for about 15 minutes, and then they left. I thought we'd get the message, but they came again yesterday around the same time, and I didn't open again. They waited even longer. I know I'm not being an adult. I would disagree with that so strongly. Do not open the door under any circumstances. What is he doing coming, first of all, and then with his ex as well? Or I don't even know if they are together or whatever. Like, what is going on there? That is insane. So now I don't know what to do. I feel nervous in my own house because I dread the moment they'll come back. He knows my schedule, and he came at the time where I usually come back from my Zumba class. However, yesterday was a holiday, so we didn't have that class. I'm afraid he'll come again, and I don't think I can face him. So what should I do? I know I can't run away forever, but I need more time. Is this worth calling the police over? I fear it would make the problem bigger than it is and hurt our family relations. Our mums are really close, and really, he's not dangerous, I think. He didn't contact me enough for it to be considered harassment anyway. Should I just be a big girl and open the next time he or they come, or do I wait it out? Also, why the heck is he bringing her? I am curious, but I want to stand by my decision. Once again, jumping straight to the comments here. What on earth? Someone said, make use of his family connections. Call his mum. Explain that he has dropped by and that you want him to stop. Tell her that he's come by your place twice already, but you didn't want to talk to him or let him in. Tell her that he is not welcome to come by your home. If there's a third visit, you'll be forced to pursue a restraining order, and you would rather not have to go that road. It's also worth mentioning that he was with the girl when he dropped by. My bet is that he thinks you talking to her will persuade you that there is nothing between them. He likely thinks the reason you won't take him back is because you do not believe that their relationship is over. The reality is that you will never take him back because he shattered the trust. His current relationship status has zero bearing on that shattered trust. Also, move. Start the process of finding a new apartment. If you're locked into a lease, talk with your landlord and explain that you have an ex who keeps coming around even after he's been told not to. Lots of landlords have more than one apartment building and might be able to accommodate you moving into another of their units. My dad owns a few buildings and has done exactly this on more than one occasion. Opie replied, I cannot pursue a restraining order on him as it's his house, and for the moment he's done nothing illegal. I could talk to his mum, but I doubt he would listen honestly, and I don't want to drag her into this business. I can see how he would think it might help, but honestly, just imagining having to sit with them both makes me feel uncomfortable. I would have to look at them and think about what they did to my life, and it would just cause me distress. My landlord isn't exactly the friendly type, so I don't know if I can bring personal issues like this as a reason. Most likely he would ask for a meeting with the both of us, and in the best case, it would take about 3 months, as that's the minimum time required to notify our landlord about our desire to end the lease earlier before we can move. I do definitely need to look for a new apartment though. Someone replied to this saying, no, her lunatic son is her business, and he's harassing you, and legally you say you can't call the cops on him, so what is your recourse? Let her know that her idiot son keeps being idiotic and she should try to help him out before he goes far enough that you do have legal recourse. Opie replied, I mean that he's a grown man, his mum has her own things to attend to. Honestly, she is already taking time to help me cancel the wedding, so I feel bad about asking more from her, and I don't want to touch their relationship by involving her in this ex-couple fight. I'll try talking with her, but when he first left, he didn't consider his family's opinion. I guess I'm just worried about having my problems affect other people. Yeah, but your ex is coming to the place you live with the girl that he left you for. That is just disgusting. You have to get people involved. Someone else said, can you stay with your family or a friend for a few weeks until he gives up? Since you said his name is still on the lease, I suspect you can't call the police on him or legally bar him from stopping by, but you can make sure you aren't there to deal with it. You could ask a very trusted, close friend to house sit for you while you stay elsewhere. If he stops by again, they tell him to F off and leave you alone, and you won't have to. Don't beat yourself up for not answering. Honestly, I think that's a mature decision given the circumstances. You're recognizing that you just don't have the emotional energy to deal with it right now. P.S. Why the F is he bringing his ex with him? The age-old question. Opie replied, I don't want to inconvenience people, so I'll probably go and live with my parents. However, I live close to my workplace, and having to do all that just to avoid him is so upsetting. I looked into the laws concerning harassment where I live, and for the moment, he doesn't qualify. He only came twice to a house that's in his name anyway. I really have no idea why he's bringing his ex. I was so surprised, it makes no sense. It's making me curious, too, and a part of me wants to hear what he has to say, but it would probably not do any good to my resolve. And then finally, somebody said, Grandma is wiser than most people on this Reddit combined. Tell her your honest fears and reservations. Let her talk to him for you, then take her advice after all of that. OP said, I really want to talk to her to be honest, but I'm postponing it the most I can. I don't want to face the reality that I'll have to tell her we might not be able to keep our relationship as I'm not returning with her grandson. Wow, I mean, pretty brutal. But again, the one saving grace in this story is that Mark's mum and grandma sound like very sensible people and you're close with them. So yeah, I agree with all of this. Use those family connections. Okay, now there is one more update to this one. This comes 4.5 years later, by the way. A huge jump now to September 2020. So this is going to be the conclusion. My fiance broke our engagement off when his high school girlfriend moved to our city. They quickly got engaged, married, and had a baby before it had even been a year. Whoa. Okay, we have just jumped straight into that. So that is what happened next. They got engaged, married, and had a baby before it had even been a year. Wow. I was so blindsided and hurt. I don't think I ever really got over my ex, which is why I'm making this post to get some outside insight. And I repeat, this is 4.5 years later now. My ex reached out a few days ago to catch up. He claimed he regretted breaking up with me 2 months after he did, but because his ex-wife was pregnant at the time, he felt he owed it to his son to try and make it work. He said their relationship quickly fell apart when he realized his ex wasn't looking for a life partner, but someone to financially support her. He said the financial issues is what finally led to their divorce. They've been divorced for 6 months and have 2 children together. According to him, his ex regularly tries to get back together with him, but he doesn't want her. He ended up asking me if I was willing to give him a second chance. In some ways, my ex has become my one who got away, and I probably would have jumped at the chance to get back with him a few months ago. However, I've recently been talking to this guy, and while we aren't official or anything, we did go on a date 2 weeks ago, which went really well. I feel like it could progress into something good, and I don't know if my ex is worth losing it over. I'd appreciate any advice on what to do in this situation. What on earth have I just read there? This is like, we're sort of back at square one in a way, like it's cyclical. I just have to sort of understand what I've just read there, genuinely. Because, what? There are like multiple things to unpack. First of all, you saying that until a few months ago, and again, this is 4.5 years later, you would have taken him back because he has become the one that got away for you in the way that his high school girlfriend was the one that got away for him. That, I think, alone is I don't know if it's crazy. I mean, it's pretty sad, but like, it's crazy that it's been 4 years and you still haven't really got over him or moved on at all. Maybe that's to be expected. I mean, it was the man you loved, you were going to get married to, and yeah, maybe that actually isn't that abnormal, to be fair, at all. It's just sad, ultimately. The next thing is that he married his ex and had a baby before it had even been a year. So that means that almost as soon as they met up again, for the first time in years, when you said, yeah, it's okay, go and meet her, if it's platonic, whatever, they did the deed and then had a baby that year. Like, that again is mental. And then on top of that, all this stuff about her only really wanting to be with him for financial reasons, and the fact that he felt like he had to stay with her sort of for the kid or kids, that sort of proves his original point, which was, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left you for my ex because the grass isn't always greener, and I didn't know what I was losing until it was gone. Like, that doesn't sound like a very fun life now. I mean, his ex / his now wife doesn't want to be with him, and what I assume, well, no, it is his ex because they've been divorced for 6 months. So yeah, even though she's trying to get back with him. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a weird story, and I feel like for Mark, this is what should have happened to him. He should now have a worse life, and he should learn his lesson that you shouldn't forgo what you have for something else that seems maybe better, but you ultimately have no idea what it's going to be like at all. And yeah, it's not been good. 2 kids and a divorce. Well done. For you though, OP, I don't know, I just feel bad. Like, 4 years on, and you're still potentially thinking about taking back a man that like ruined your life and left you at the drop of a hat for his ex-girlfriend. That's tough. That really is. I mean, obviously, the only advice I can possibly give you is do not take him back. Simple as that. But that's the same advice that people gave 4 years before. Brutal story, that, to be honest. Didn't expect that ending at all. That is the beauty of stories like this, where we have the final update and it comes such a long time after the original post. I did not expect that. Let me know in the comments if you saw that coming, what your advice to OP would be, and your thoughts overall on this story. Thank you guys for watching and listening. As always, I will catch you on the next one.